Hey everyone, welcome to Creative Heart with Brooke. Here I'm using the Cashew Waverly chalk paint, and I'm going to be painting my little thrifted find here, this little wooden basket that I found at my local Goodwill. So I'm just giving it a light coat of a whitewash look. I will go around the rim of the basket, also do a little bit inside. I'm not going to fully coat the inside because it's going to be filled in with a bunch of florals and some styrofoam, so I don't need to completely paint. I'm just doing the sides here, and then the bottom I'll do as well. And once I get this painted, I'm just going to give it a quick dry, and then I'll show you the next thing I found at Goodwill to go along with this. So just giving it a quick dry so that it can sit here until I'm ready to use it again. So here's the next thing. I found this wooden jar that I'm going to turn into a honey jar. So I'm just giving it the same paint color as well, the cashew. And at the top, I will be painting this with a gray to make it look like the lid. So I'm just giving it first a base coat of this cashew. So I will do the front and back and get it coated evenly. And then again, at the top, I will be using gray to make it look like the lid. So once you get it painted, you want to make sure that you get it completely dry, especially if you're going to be using any stencils, which I am in just a moment. I'm going to be using some of the Magnolia Design Company stencils to add to both of these items. So I'm going to make sure that I get them nice and coated first, and then get them dry so that the paint will not come off onto the stencil. So here I'm painting it with the gray. I am going to do the back side and the sides as well. So that way, if it's standing up and you can see all sides, it'll be painted all around. So, and once I get it painted here, I'm going to, again, dry it really good and then use the stencils. So I'm going to be using some of my honey stencils that I have with Magnolia. I'm not really sure if they even have these anymore. I used to be an affiliate, but I'm no longer, but I still use the stencils on my projects. So I will be showing you the stencil design in just a moment. So this one has a 2 stencil pack. So this one says Sweet as Honey, and that one was Let It Be. So I'm going to be using both of them. So how I'm going to apply the stencil onto our basket, I'm going to make it, I'm not going to use it as it is, Sweet as Honey. I'm going to place the sweet kind of sideways to make it fit on our basket here. And then once I get it on, then I'm going to do honey next. I'm just placing it on here so I can make all the words fit onto the front of our little basket here. So I'm using the I'm using the coal black paste that's also Magnolia's paste colors. And here I have sweet on there, so see how nice it turned out. And now I'm going to dry that a little bit, just so that when I place the stencil on here again, it won't touch any of that. So we're going to put honey on here too. And the reason why I'm doing honey first and not as is because I wanted to make sure I had enough room to get honey on here underneath the word sweet. So, and that's the thing about these stencils, is that they're so versatile. You can use them any way you want. You can use whatever you want off of these stencils. So there's honey. And then again, I'm going to dry it real quick and then use as in just a moment on here. So as I'm going to kind of put above both of those to the side and get it placed on here, and then we'll get it chalked once I get it to fit here besides sweet. And then with the chalk paste, so since it's the actual Magnolia Design Company paste, I don't have to wash it out real quick because it will wash out. I know you've seen me use acrylic paints, and with acrylic paints you have to wash them out as soon as you're finished using the stencil, because acrylic and chalk paste are different, and the acrylic, if it's not washed out quickly, will clog your screen, and so you don't want that. So here I use the honey jar on the stencil to put on to the little jar here. I'm moving the cone over some so to make it fit. And then once I get this on here, we'll get it dried, and then I'm going to use some markers in just a moment to fill in, to give it some color. And if you you can kind of see at the top part there where a little bit of paint come off, that was not completely dry, but I'll touch that up in just a moment. But that's why you want to make sure that all of the paint is completely dry before you put the stencil on. That one, I guess, had just a little more of a thicker wet spot, so I'm just going to touch that up. And then now we're going to fill in with some markers. So I'm using a little bit of some yellow and just giving the flower some color. I'll also do the cone here in just a moment. We'll paint, or we'll fill in the handle to make it kind of look like wood. And once we get it filled in with the colors, we will be almost finished with this little jar here, and I will give it a coat of Mod Podge once it dries really good, so I probably won't do that on the video, but you want to do at least 3 coats of Mod Podge to seal your chalk paste so that it doesn't chip off. I'm just filling in with some gold here for the honey, and then gold around, just kind of highlighting right there, and then putting some at the top of the lid. So now the jar, I'm going to fill in here the cloth at the top of the jar. This is like a light pink color. And then now our little jar's finished, our little honey jar. So now I'm going to get the little styrofoam balls in here. I didn't have any solid sheets of the foam, the styrofoam, so I just used what I had. And I'm going to glue those in here, but first I'm going to get our little bee on here with the little heart. And I'm doing it the same way, but I'm doing it on this side. I'm going to put the bee on this side, and then too, I will fill in the bee with some color as well, add some yellow. So there's our little bee on there, there's our little heart. And then we're going to hot glue these balls in just a moment, and then start sticking our floral in. And there's Honey. She jumped up on the table while I walked off to go throw my stencils in the sink. So there was Honey. And now that I got my florals here, we're going to hot glue these styrofoam balls in the bottom, and that's just going to be where I thought about sticking that in there, but it's just too big, so we're just going to have it set to the side. You'll see at the end of the video I have it placed in a setting. So here we're going to stick these in here, and then we'll start sticking the florals in and place them all around. And if you hear Willow in the background, it's because she was running around while I was editing my video. So she's watching Mickey. So you probably just heard her say Mickey. So anyways, so here I'm placing the florals in here and making it all using some pinks, some yellows, and just some greenery stuck in here. And So once I get that in here, then I'm also going to be putting a little sign in here that says honey. But you could use any kind of florals you want to go in something like this. I just had all of this in my floral stash, so, and I thought it all looked really cute with all the pinks and the yellows. Thanks everyone for watching.